Hello YouTube. We are going to be doing a digital field trip with my class, the Warde Woodshop at City Bench Company. We're going to be touring a furniture company that reclaims wood and turns it into usable furniture all around the state and the nation. So with that said, let's get to it.
Here we are, we're at City Bench. My name is Ted Esselstyn, and this is where we have 3 barns that we work out of here in Higganum. But come on in, this is our shop where we fabricate. We're live here, guys. This is Ace, the dog, the great one, the shop dog right now. Mike Donovan and Ben Kamola. These guys are doing some glue-ups for a project we're doing in Farmington, Connecticut. They're gluing up a lot of 1.5 inch thick beech right now for some bench seats. This was a beautiful old mature beech that grew, and they're using all of it. So that's primarily what's taking up the space in the shop right now. This is our first really cold day of the year, and thankfully the wood stove is cutting the cold a little bit. And we can go out. The only other project in the shop right now is this small beech, this small oak outdoor bench for a client. This is an interesting tool. We call this our flattening jig, but it's really just a manual CNC. You've probably seen versions of this kind of thing. But Ben welded this up, gosh, it's almost 6 years ago now. But this allows us to raise and lower, this router with a spoiler bit, and then we can flatten the big slabs. So this is an invaluable tool in our arsenal. We use it every day. This is our kiln, which isn't running right now. It's we just turned it off because we've got a load in here of oak for a job, and this is going to come out probably in the next couple days. And we're turning this into some tables, and I believe it's actually a really interesting coffee table as well, and some bar tops. Then in here is our finishing room. We've got several countertops right now that are in finish. These are all silver maple from nearby for going into a home. This is a maple bench and an ash bar top for a client. This is an interesting story. This is a client in West Hartford. They had a small cherry tree, and they've used every limb of the tree to make 3 projects. We did 2 wall pieces for them, an end table, and then this round breakfast table, which is going to be mounted on a steel pedestal base. So anyway, that's a great example. This is a typical client for us, where they literally use every bit of the tree, and whether they're making a legacy piece, something for the kids, or something for the house, it's a nice example of what we do.
Now, what kind of finish is going on the table over there?
This is our simplest finish, but probably our most common. And we just do a base coat with a tung oil varnish, which we make ourselves. The tung oil varnish is equal parts tung oil, boiled linseed oil, and urethane. And then we top coat with simple white bond poly, upwards of 6 coats. And that gives it, you get the depth with the oil, and you get tremendous durability with the urethane.
The color is beautiful.
Yeah, this is, and as I tell them with the cherry, it'll only get better with time as it darkens. And yeah, and you can see here, tremendous amount of decay in this tree. This was the last bits of wood they had available. There's all these little, where are they? All these little inlays and Dutchmen that you can see that are everywhere in this, because we're down to the last bits of wood.
Now, how did you fill that? What did you fill it with?
This is all filled with, and I can turn it upside down. This is all filled with a our West System epoxy and walnut dust. You can see here what we were up against. It was quite a battle with all the infill with epoxy because a lot of this was very punky wood. And but anyway, it's held up nicely and the top is clean. So that should work out.
Awesome. We're off to now.
There's some brackets. Just this is a little beam for some folks who are doing a beam above a door. These are brackets for one of the countertops. And this was welded by a friend who has a welding shop in Southington, and we worked together at the Children's Museum. But he did this by hand actually. This was not laser cut. He just did all this with
a plasma cutter.
He has a plasma cutter and he'll do a plywood jig. But for this, he actually said he just used a jigsaw.
Wow.
2 blades, but he did it with a jigsaw and then he cleaned it up.
That's awesome.
So. Yeah, it's on South End Road, I think.
That's cool. And what's this place over here?
This is the front barn where we store a lot of them. This is a really big slab for client. You can see these are massive, like 48-inch by 14-foot long slabs of oak. We have some templates in here from those countertops. We do our welding. These are a few bases for some outdoor benches we're doing along the Mianus River in Stanford.
Yeah.
So this is a cradle essentially that'll cradle these half logs, and then we bolt it in with some bases. We've done I think 8 to 10 benches along the river. It's a beautiful park along the river that the Friends of Mianus keeps up the trails. So anyway, that's these are some other bases, but bye Rose. This is a prototype for Adirondack style bench we're doing for another family. This is just a plywood mock-up to give them a sense of the
angles and the feel
and stuff. Yeah. So that's really all that goes on up here. We do some of our own welding, which is really helpful. Ben is a terrific welder, and that's really it. That's it for the bar. Hey, you're welcome. So this is where we have our showroom, and this is known as the Scoville Forge. This is an old manufacturing center here in Higganum, where they made hose they made plantation equipment in Higganum along the rivers, and this is where they made hose, the Scovilles. But this was the old office and storage space for the Scoville Forge, and we've used it now as our showroom. So it's really been a wonderful area for us to stage pieces. These are 2 long tables that are going out soon. One to Swarthmore College and one to a family here in Connecticut. But so as you can see, it's a really mixed bag. Right now it's very full. There's a big walnut bed. And this bed was kind of tricky because it's got to break down into, be almost be flat stock. So everything breaks down, and we obviously have not finished it yet, but it's going to really pop when it gets this finish. Yeah. And we're in the midst of pouring some river tables, which we don't do that often. But we're working with a client who really wanted a river table, so we're doing some blue with some silver in it, and we're about to do our second pour soon. I believe it's ready. Yeah.
Now
it's kind of a mess. It's honestly a mess to do it, but it's and we've resisted a lot of the river tables just because introducing plastics into, we know how steel and wood age in patina. I don't know how in a generation or 2 the resins are going to do, but they are beautiful. The colors are beautiful.
What's funny is that the student I had.
Here it is. Controlling this is difficult because it's so fine that it really dilutes through the whole project. I mean, you can come in and swirl it and create patterns, but we don't do enough of these to. Anyway, it's always fun to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So these are. I think these just have to be steel wool. I think Zeb just waxed them yesterday, so they just have to get steel wool. And these are all ready to go.
Yeah. What kind of wax do you use?
Oh, Carnauba wax. It's I believe it's made by Watco. They're satin finish. These I can see the wax. We gotta come back and steel wool that down. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a big example of a big waterfall, miter fold.
So this has been a tour of the city bench here in Higganum. So look forward to a question and answer section later in this video. Have a good one. Bye.